Welcome to Franchise Addicts, a podcast that covers every film in a given franchise. My name is Luke.
And I'm Chris.
And we are kicking off the year of our Lord 2026 by covering George Miller's gasoline-fueled ride, Mad Max, 1979.
There's a lot of gas.
Another film came
Literally.
in 1979. We covered it. It's Alien.
Yep. Coming back to our roots.
Yeah, back to it. We had to get back to the 70s. I had missed it. I had missed the old movies. We haven't been this far back since the first Evil Dead, which was 81, I think. So a couple years before. We obviously did The Godfathers, which came out before Alien. So I think those are our oldest movies that we've covered.
75, yeah.
Yeah, but this is back from all the other stuff that we typically cover, mostly from the 80s on. That's where the franchise really kicked in.
You know, it's very interesting, right? Like, where did the franchise start, right? And I feel like mid 70s is the answer, right? Like that was, you had Rocky, and in 75,
Jaws.
Rocky and Jaws.
Jaws 2. When was Jaws 2?
I don't know.
Oh, that's bad. That's bad.
No.
It's not a great movie.
The point is that in 1975, it would appear that, franchises were born, at least as like a more popularized thing, because Jaws was the biggest movie ever for a very, very long time. And Rocky was also beloved. He ran up those stairs. People were like, we need at least 2 more of these.
We will be covering Rocky at some point, Chris. I don't know when. It's going to happen. I love Rocky. And like it just, especially I compared this when we talked about Evil Dead, Mad Max and Evil Dead, in that the first movies are made for dirt cheap.
Yeah.
They then get a influx of cash for the second movie, and the director is able to make a more of their vision, and add some dollars to the budget. And then it just, with Mad Max, it just gets more and more insane as it continues to go on. It's one of the few franchises that builds with each movie in a way. We'll get to Thunderdome, the third movie, when we get to it. It is definitely the oddball of the group. But it as Army of Darkness has like its very specific fans, Thunderdome is a decent chunk of people's favorite Mad Max movie, just because of how different it is. So a lot of fun stuff to cover here with Max, the Maddest Max, one of the weirdest main characters in a franchise, because he barely talks. Now, this is the most active he is in many of the movies, the Max character.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Is this Max Tom Hardy?
Yes. Well, yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
I know it's
yes and no. Like it's all happening in the same universe, but like the time, like how long, because obviously this movie they're not yet in the apocalypse. Like it's starting to get bad, but it's not really bad yet.
But do we know that? Like,
the police are saying like they're down to their last cruiser. They're essentially like running out of the ability to continually produce stuff, at least in Australia where this is set.
Sure.
So yeah, things are kind of like ramping down. I think there's drought, or they don't really try to explain, because this movie was never supposed to be an apocalyptical movie. Road Warrior, the second movie, is where Miller kind of dives into that idea. This movie is more just like Miller's outlook on society and like his vision of it kind of crumbling, and gangs kind of, strong men essentially coming back and kind of ruling the roost. And that's never good. All that leads to is death and destruction. And that is what Mad Max is all about. I read a good quote about kind of the world that Max is in, and especially as it relates to this movie, because like I said, we're not in an apocalypse yet. That the world of Mad Max, like Max exists in it, and like he is a character in it, but he does not shape the world. Where like a lot of movies, the main character is shaping the world that we see them in. The world of Mad Max is shaping Max, and making him mad, but like really just brutally. I mean, this movie is brutal. There is no happy ending. There is nothing. There is just bleakness. And I really appreciate this particular movie, the first Mad Max, for that we do have kind of the before times before we get into Road Warrior, which is, you know, very apocalyptical, at least right on the precipice of it being, you know, almost nobody around.
Yeah.
The world we see in Fury Road, where there is only civilizations here and there.
Yeah, Bullet Town, you know, Gun Alley,
Gasoline Villa,
Gasville, very clever.
Gasolina.
They don't need clever names. They're like, listen, most of the creative people died.
Yep.
We are just like, we have enough creativity to paint ourselves white, say "witness me," and jump around. And there's the guitar guy too.
The Doof Warrior.
The Doof Warrior.
That is his given name.
Hell yeah, that's his God-given name. That's his, yeah. Well, his birth name. They're like, Doof and Mr. and Mrs. Warrior. What do you want to? His Christian name. He. I mean, speaking of Christians, though, this movie brought us one of the all-time greats.
Yes, Mel.
MG, M to the G, Mel G.
Do we have to? Yeah, you're right to bring this up right away. We do have to get the whole Mel Gibson of these movies, out of the way. I love Mel Gibson, the actor. I also think he's a fairly talented director. Obviously, as a man, reprehensible.
Yeah.
At least what he became. I don't know how bad he was earlier on in life before the weight of everything kind of caused him to lose his mind a little bit. But these two movies, especially Mad Max and Road Warrior, and then the first two Lethal Weapon movies, like that is peak 80s stuff for me, like action movie stuff for me.
He was good in the 90s. He was good. At least I watched him quite a bit in the 90s.
He's an incredible performer. He just is. I'll get into it more, but like I'll apologize up front to anybody that is offended by Mel Gibson and like doesn't like to watch his stuff. I get it. That's your own choice. My choice is to just, I can't help it. I love his performance style. I can't do it.
I keep watching The Patriot.
I do. I've seen The Patriot at least 10 times.
He's fucking Australian, Luke. He's not even. It's not real.
He's so good. He's
how good of an actor he is. He can play The Patriot. No, he's good. I mean, I remember like Ransom. I don't know, like kind of popcorn movies of the early 90s.
He gives the best performance in an action movie in Lethal Weapon 1. He's out of control.
We should cover it. Yeah. Very talented actor. You know, we got to cover Passion of the Christ, obviously.
Well, when they make the Easter one, the second one, then it'll be kind of
find other movies that are like in the process, in the timeline of Christ.
Well, I don't know if I want to see the second one because I've seen the Passion of the Christ at least 6 times.
Wait, wow. Upbringing. It's brutal though. Like that's like, you know,
it's not fun to watch.
It's like Hostel level gore.
Yep.
Which was like at the time that was like, whoa, that was the craziest thing. Like gory, but it was like, how about this? But it's Jesus. And so instead of people being like, that's horrific, I don't like watching violence like that, elderly people took rented buses.
Well, it's very Catholic, Chris.
They did. I just remember Catholic. There was field trips to go see the Passion of the Christ. It was like, you must.
Don't you remember did you ever see the Da Vinci Code movies?
I did not. I listened to like most of the first book on tape.
So the guy who
Or
plays
on my device.
the guy who plays Jarvis in the Marvel movies, Paul Bettany. He's like this crazy monk guy that's like trying to stop Tom Hanks from whatever, and he's like flogs himself the entire time.
I do remember that.
Yeah,
I've seen
very,
very okay.
Catholics are some Catholics, not all Catholics. Sorry, I don't want to group you all together.
No, don't.
The Catholic ethos sometimes
Maybe
in the past, maybe not modern, but whatever. I'm just gonna spit it out, Chris. They like the passion of the Christ. They like the suffering part.
A little BDSM.
Yep.
If I ask, if you have to say so.
A lot of guilt. And
a lot of guilt.
Watching your Lord and Savior on a movie screen be beaten for your sins just brings something out of people.
Kind of insane, honestly. But we're not here to talk about. We're not here to talk about the Passion of the Christ, though we did for a little bit. We're here to talk about, of course, Mad Max. And so, like, this was his first movie, 1979, Mel Gibson. He was on TV before, but it's his first movie. And obviously, this movie was done for dirt cheap. They said $350,000, which is the equivalent of $1.4 million today.
Mel was paid $10,000.
Yep. Sweet 10 grand.
Yeah. And he auditioned while he was bruised from a bar fight, and they liked the look. And little did they know the performance he also was going to give.
It's Mel being Mel. Mel's putting up fists. Mel
might have been a little bit in his cups and saying some stuff that he shouldn't be saying.
Weird.
We know that he does that.
He does that. I feel like there's maybe audio of that happening. But he's definitely we're like, is this guy violent and angry? He might be.
I gotta go back in time. I'll fix Mel. I'll create a time machine. I'll go back in time. I will befriend Mel. I will help him out.
What would you do to help Mel Gibson? And what time would you go to? Would you go to 91, 92? Or are we going back earlier? Visit him on the set of Mad Max in Australia, 1979.
Road Warrior. I'd be like, that the emotion that you had to get to when your wife was murdered in the first movie.
Way. She's hit by a motor.
Now that passion is going to come up in your real life, and I need you to just push that passion down.
To repress, Mel.
I need you to read some books. I got some books that you're gonna read. And you're going to listen to some people. You're going to go to Jewish synagogue a couple times. Just say hi, shake some hands. You don't have to like it.
Jewish. Jesus was a Jew.
You don't have to like it. Just try it out. Get to know the people.
Try it out. You'll like it.
Have some matzo ball soup. You'll be good to go. It's good.
Oh my God. Some gefilte fish. Oh,
yes.
My kids are Jewish. So totally fine.
Annie's from Mequon.
Yeah, North Shore. So the Mel Gibson. I guess I don't know where you'd find him. What you'd do? Did you see the movie he did where he is has a gopher puppet?
A gopher puppet? Oh, yeah. I don't remember that one, but yes, the Beaver.
The Beaver. Yes. Insane. His career since he got canceled. Insane. He did that, and then he did some direct to DVD stuff. I think that Beaver
was nominated for Best Picture with Hacksaw Ridge.
The right's got to vote. They're like, we get one. We get one. Is there did Mark Wahlberg do a war movie this year? Fuck. Okay.
Apocalypto was incredible.
It was great. He's a good director. The Passion of the Christ, I think, I'm not a fan at all for many reasons. It's torture porn, but they make it religious, and it's stupid. But Apocalypto was well done, 100%. I remember really enjoying it.
Are we dancing around Braveheart? I don't know why we're dancing around Braveheart. I mean, it was before he was canceled.
Oh God, that was the height of his powers.
Yes, you could do anything.
A little angry and violent. Protect our freedom with that blue face. Oh.
I mean, just one of the great talents in Hollywood history who just threw it away because he's a bad guy.
Yeah, I mean, and he got caught. I mean, there's probably a lot of other
Well,
guys.
that's what I mean. Is it's like, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, you're right. There are many bad guys out there that just we'd never hear about it.
Maybe Mel's reformed. The duality of man. We should talk about. Full Metal Jacket. But yeah, he's had a really interesting career overall. But yeah,
let's transition to talk about the other main guy for these films, George Miller. One of the most just eclectic careers that you could possibly put together. Fun fact, he was an ER doctor before he became a director. He took a lot of the stuff that he witnessed in the ER, brought it into the films. So he is credited a lot with the action, violence, death being very natural, the way it actually occurs, while also just having these over-the-top, like beyond realistic car chases.
Yeah,
and that becomes his signature until he produces a movie called Babe.
Pig in the City.
Well, he directs Pig in the City. He produced the first one. I believe he wrote the first one too. But yeah, he jumps in the director's chair for Babe, Pig in the City, and then is like, career's not doing great. Don't have a. He has the idea for another Mad Max movie, but can't quite figure out how to make it, and is like, I'll make Happy Feet.
How about penguins dancing happily singing along? Is Hugh Jackman available? It's insane.
This guy created the Doof Warrior and then wrote Happy Feet.
And like made a whole franchise about like guys that are like on the prowl to like rape and pillage.
Yep.
And then like just like this, like the terror of like, of all of it. And then it reminds me of Robert Rodriguez. In this, he's done obviously, what he's done, his Planet Terror, his
Sin
From
City.
Dusk Till Dawn, Sin City, and then he does the Spy Kids, but actually Robert Rodriguez's kids movies are pretty cool.
The first Spy Kids movie is kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean they're like, it's a nice like stylized, for a kids movie. I had to watch those. Babe,
Antonio Banderas is great.
Babe sucks.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
What?
That won't do, Pig. That won't do.
No, Chris. Why?
You have an affinity for Babe? I'm sorry.
It's good. James Cromwell. It has my dog in it.
He's in a lot of stuff. I just watched LA Confidential. He's a creepy old man.
He is. One of the great voices in cinema history. I love James Cromwell's voice. Love him in what's the show that Succession? There you go.
That's right. He was the old man.
He was the lib.
You're a stupid idiot. It did not sound like that. I'll get the Cromwell. I'll work on it.
No, but honestly, Babe inspired my love for border collies, and it's why I probably will continue to have border collies. I have one now. I would like another after. I don't even want to think about the next part, but I would like more.
That's adorable. I also think this is just showing our age difference, because when Babe came out, I was
5.
Yeah, and I was like, Babe sucks. Like corn, man, or like, I don't know, grunge music or whatever. I'm cynical as fuck. I don't want to watch Babe. Dude, get Babe away from me.
I'm surprised that you didn't have like a comeback with your kids where you just threw it on once and were like, oh, this is really charming.
My 3 boys did not ever want to watch Babe.
You don't know until you try.
I didn't want to.
Don't know until you try. Don't know until you try.
It's
way too late now. Yeah, I don't think they'd like it anymore. Grandkids, Chris. That's your sweet spot.
Yeah,
throwing on Babe.
I will. That's. I guess I'll give it a. I'll think about it. But Happy Feet is. I do remember liking that. Again, I definitely saw that with my kids because I did have a kid by then, and that was fun. I think it was a movie that was bigger in the time. And like, if we go back to Happy Feet, is it like a movie we care about historically? I kind of think not. I
I
think it
think
was
it,
one of those things that like doesn't hold the test
I
of
think it
time.
did make a decent amount of money and kind of
It was like Oscar nominated. It may have won an Oscar. Like it was a huge fucking
yeah.
deal.
So it kind of brings George back, gives him the juice to then do Fury Road, and Fury Road's like his big comeback. The old man still got it. The master from the 80s, one last work, we think. And it just does so well that got to keep living in it, keep making them.
It's very interesting. I don't think we ever get this in a. Well, we haven't had it yet in a franchise because Evil Dead didn't do. It's not like the newer Evil Dead was like one Best Picture,
yeah.
right? But like having like these long franchises that expand over
This would
time.
basically be like if, well, I mean, this is a weird comparison, but like, just leave all the awards and shit behind for a second. It would be like if Godfather had the trilogy, and then in like 2008 they made Godfather 4, and after 3 was such a disappointment, Godfather 4 comes out and everyone's like, this is as good as the first ones, we didn't appreciate them even enough, and like give it all the awards again.
And it's John Goodman playing Vince Corleone.
Yeah, and he never talks. He just sits in the chair stroking the cat, and everyone's like, brilliant, he did it again.
They're like, he's sitting on the Roseanne couch. What's going on?
And
it has other cast members from Roseanne.
And Kay Corleone is like everyone's hero at the end of the movie. Everyone's like, make a Kay Corleone movie now. And you're like,
they should. They would. If Godfather came out at a different time, I think we would. It would be less into showing blatant domestic abuse and maybe being a female character if it came out a little later. But it didn't, and so instead we get the masterpiece that is The Godfather, where most women don't have lines and die immediately.
Yeah.
Except for Diane.
And then Coppola is like, I'm going to do the George Miller Megalopolis, bitches. And nope.
Everyone was like, no, I don't think so. I haven't seen that. Have you seen it?
No, I have not. I
feel like it's
does it stream anywhere?
I'm sure you can like rent it.
Honestly, for the amount of like hubbub leading up to the film, once it was released, all the like disastrous stuff you're hearing about it, and then just a little bit at the end, I have never heard one person talk about it again after that run.
It might be fun to cover out of like it being so bad. I mean, it has a ton of stars in it.
It does. Yeah.
So, I mean, anyway, so maybe Megalopolis, but I get the comparison. It's crazy that whole thing happened. This will be a really exciting franchise to do because of the crazy twists and turns it takes. Yeah. But yeah, this is so. Shall we get?
Yeah, let's get into the movie proper. Director George Miller again. Writers George Miller gets writing credit on it, along with James McCausland. Another big name to remember is Byron Kennedy. He's the producer. He produced this movie and Road Warrior, and then tragically died, and it devastated George. And I think is like basically dedicated the rest of his film career to him. But yeah, it really shook him after Road Warrior. Byron passes away tragically, and maybe that's why the Mad Max, maybe goofball one with Thunderdome, and then you got to take 20 years because you don't have your main guy helping you along with the project.
I did see that he does go on to like produce and direct some Tina Turner videos. So I feel like they must have hit it off. But anyways, so this this is interesting.
I'll give a couple trivias and then we'll get into the movie proper. Many of the extras were paid in beer. Or essentially just given food for the day or whatever. They were from motorcycle gangs and stuff, and they had to because they couldn't get like professional stunt drivers for these. So they essentially just had to find people that were willing to do it, to risk, whatever, to perform these stunts. So they were getting non-professionals to do that. Mel Gibson wasn't the first choice. There's also an accent big story here where when this was originally released in America, nobody could understand the Australian accent. So they had to dub parts of the movie because people were like, this is unintelligible.
Mel's part, or like
I think a lot, like I didn't have an issue. I didn't even have subtitles on. I could follow along just fine. I think it was just the time, whatever.
I did put subtitles on halfway through because there's a lot of different.
The mixing isn't like super great, but I think it does fine.
And they're also saying insane things. Yes. So it's like, what did you? Is that toe cutter?
Yes.
That's toe cutter.
Yeah, all the names, like you could miss every name of everybody because they're like said under their breath and they're so ridiculous that you're like, why did that person say a weird phrase? That doesn't make any sense.
Spago.
Fifi? Who's Fifi? Do you know who Fifi is?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Not his wife, Jackie.
This movie ended up making $100 million. Cha-ching. Mostly through re-releases. It didn't do well in America, like I said, because of the accent or whatever, and just didn't catch on. Re-released a couple times, then gets the credit it deserves, and everyone jumps on the Mad Max bandwagon.
That's interesting. They had to maybe wait for Crocodile Dundee to like win people over.
It might even be, and I'm sure I'll get shouted down for this if I got it wrong, but it might even be that Road Warrior was released and the quality of that is a little bit better, connects with the audiences a little bit easier. They see that, they go, oh, there's a first one to these, boom, and then you're back. They re-released the first one alongside of it, as movie theaters used to do cool stuff like that. They don't do that anymore, which is why nobody goes to them.
North Shore does a lot of weird ass
like one of them, and at weird show times, and it's like inconvenient to go to them. They're like, would you like to see Jaws in theaters again? I'm like, yeah, I would love to. It's like, well, we have one showing. It's at 11 p.m. So
that makes it so special. I mean, I don't have time
I'm old, man.
Either,
but you're be staying up late. Well, late for that. This movie, we kick it off with an opening chase scene with a non-Mel Gibson character. This is the Knight Rider.
The Knight Rider.
This guy rules. Every single time it's just a cut close to him driving the car, and he is just screaming about himself.
And doing that maniacal laugh. This is when I think the thing that really works so well for this movie starts to show right away, which is the committed, actually decent, crazy person performances.
Yeah, it's
that are like actually like pretty good. Like some of those characters are like, wow, like it's so weird and like kind of fun to watch that it kind of invites you in, and it's kind of one of the only things that you can attach it's an entry point, I think, because otherwise you're like, what is going on? What is happening? It's really, really they don't explain much, which is cool. But like, so the character acting, including,
again, it only gets better as these movies go on. Like, as the movies ramp up the craziness, the performances match it consistently all the way up to Furiosa, where we get Hemsworth just going absolutely nuts. And in my opinion, in a very winning performance, some might think it's too goofy. But the Knight Rider, played by Vincent Gill, I think he had like 20 other credits, mostly Australian work. He's credited doing some writing, producing, some other acting gigs. And then Toe Cutter, we mentioned him. That's Hughes Key Byrne, and he comes back as a Morton Joe.
As he should, because he's kind of the best part of the movie.
It's an incredible bad guy performance.
It's really good, and he was like a theater.
You can tell because he is.
He protects the back of the room.
He
He knows how to talk.
And he knows how to monologue. If he
sure
sees a
does.
paragraph of text in his dialogue, he's like, all right,
He's good.
let's eat
He's
this
loving
up.
it. He's
I
diving
mean,
in.
he's doing the thing with his like he's
Great.
all in, and the Miller is just attached to his face the entire time. You almost never see him far away. It's always like right on top of him. He does it. I love that part of the cinematography and the directing work. He is willing to just stick that camera in Mel's face and just be like, you got to act, buddy. Your face has to do everything because I am coming to you.
You're getting paid 10 grand for that face, Mel. Show me something. Work, baby, work.
Back to what you were saying, asking, lower end actors to like do this work essentially for nothing. Like Miller must be like a prophet. They must have just been like, we trust you, I guess.
Yeah, I heard that there was one scene where they were like, they had to put a camera on a motorcycle to film some of the motorcycle chase scenes. And there was a person, and they could not wear a helmet because they couldn't film then. They couldn't see the camera. And so they were on the back of a motorcycle. It was going 100 miles an hour, and they were filming like, holy time, dangerous workplace. But I mean, it gave us some great results. But I mean, I think you can also maybe, right? I mean, I wonder if you can like, if the sense of real danger comes off a little bit. Like, I don't know. I think the characters are actually pretty like play acty and like they're great, but like, it's interesting to think about like this was like very legitimately dangerous.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that an adjective you'd use was nuance for the performance, but they are giving what I believe George is asking for, which is just like act like this world is losing its mind.
Do all
this. It's just bigger. Go bigger.
Yeah, you're most acting award.
A couple other guys, Steve Bisley, that's Goose.
Goose.
Do not be named Goose in a movie. It's not a good omen.
He will die. Yeah.
Joanna Samuel, that's Jesse. And then I wanted to shout out Roger Ward, who is Fifi, who is probably better known as like the chief police guy that gives Mel Gibson a pump up speech while wearing a huge wide tie, no shirt.
That guy. Okay, yep, that guy. I got that. That was the craziest look of the movie.
That's my guy, Fief. Absolutely incredible performance. You want to talk about going for it? That man is like, I have 5 minutes to prove why I'm in this movie.
It is really interesting. Like they do really get some huge performances, which, and now that guy and the outfits and everything, and I mean also like that outfit is like a very like. Do you think that outfit is like suggesting erotic?
Max's?
No.
Fief. I don't know. I think it
like it's really weird.
It is
like,
very like
know,
all the attire choices are also just like who costumed this? Like they're just like, hey guys, just go into like your old shit and just put on whatever and look as crazy as you possibly can.
That's it. It's all DIY.
But I was the reason why I said Mel in the leather before is Mel's looking great in the all leather motorcycle cop get up that would then be used by Al Pacino in a movie that I reference way too often but I can't remember the name of it right now.
Dog Day Afternoon?
No, it's not Dog Day Afternoon. I'm not going to remember, so I will pass that along, and I'll just leave you all hanging there because I can't think of it. I'll think of it later. So Mel Gibson, Mad Max, before he's Mad, just Max, is a part of the MFP. They're kind of the they are the motor police force. They are kind of the only law, it appears, in this area.
And they're not good people, as the opening shot, right, is one of the cops trying to kill some people having sex in full frame. So right off the bat, inappropriate, murder, assassination, corrupt cops. Whoa.
A lot of cutting back and forth between different cars. We got a 3-car chase. We get the introduction to Max sitting in his car, listening to the radio as these guys are chasing each other. This movie starts immediately pressing the gas down all the way. Like you're in. It does slow down a little bit and kind of catches you up on and like builds the world a little bit more. At least builds the Max character's world a little bit more.
Yeah, that's it.
And so we get done with that, and now we get into, I think the next is like we see him at his home. We meet Jesse. We know that he has a kid. We know that he's
Sprago. Is his name Sprago?
Yeah. They're watching the news as Max ended up being the guy that took down the Knight Rider, because the Knight Rider did not prevail, even though he was adamant about it. He is the Knight Rider.
It's weird, yeah, that he failed. Also, yeah, like I'm curious, like, you know, what I want is a prequel, a Knight Rider prequel. Let's see how the Knight Rider came to be, right? And how did, you know, because he had to be not crazy. He had to at least give himself that name, Knight Rider. Like, I have a hard time picturing him even like having a coherent, like, call me the Knight Rider. I mean, I guess maybe. Like, ha, 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 and that, you know, crazy woman with him too. It's great stuff.
Well, and
it's great stuff.
You don't know, like, did Toe Cutter influence Knight Rider? Did Knight Rider influence Toe Cutter? Like,
yeah, he calls out to Toe Cutter in the beginning.
Yeah, he's like, I'm coming, Toe Cutter, I'm coming. And
yeah, I feel like Toe Cutter's got to be like
does seem like, you know, with Toe Cutter, and I can't remember the name of the young guy who Mel ends up taking care of at the end, but he's kind of the main like way that Max gets into the Toe Cutter gang through him. But Toe Cutter is seemingly manipulating everyone in his little motorcycle gang and, you know, getting them to do, you know, his wicked ways. I don't really know what Toe Cutter's goal is, but he just appears to be a chaos agent.
Just like the Joker, baby.
Yeah. We'll hit a couple other big parts. We get the death of Goose, which is just absolutely brutal. One of the luckiest, or, you know, maybe this is one of his skills, the guy that on the bluff that throws the inner tire metal piece and smashes the windshield. Because like he has to anticipate that throw, you know, it's not just a simple drop down, and he does it so casually. He like turns around, picks this thing up, and then just whoop, and then bam, right into it. Unbelievable.
He makes it look easy.
Yeah. And I love that Goose has this like mythology around him, and Max has this like deep care and friendship for this guy, but you have no idea that's the case, because they kind of interact and you kind of get the appreciation and stuff like that. But like, as soon as he died, it was like, whoa, is Mel like in love with Goose?
Yeah, it was not set up. They spent too much. I mean, I don't know. One thing I don't know that is the strong point of these films is like establishing an emotional connection. And I'm sure some people might disagree. And I know that they try to do it with Mel and with Max and Jesse. And like, fine, it's fine. It's not, but also like, I don't know, like, I don't really care that much. At least not as much as like for the amount of time they spend trying to make us care. Also, the baby, I feel like they couldn't afford the baby for very long. The baby is in the first part, and then any other time there's toys around inferring that a baby might be there, but they're like, the baby walked. we don't have the baby anymore, you know.
Well, they do have the Toe Cutter gang try to take the baby, because you got to, if there is a baby in the movie, the baby has to be taken at some point
and looked at as dessert. Crazy.
Yeah,
let's get into that. I mean, let's get into the well, we talked about Goose, and then the whole like seeing him in the hospital, which I think is a good
that's
call.
not
as
him
far
in
as, like,
there.
can't be good.
No. Close up of Mel.
Yeah, he's okay. He's starting to show that he can act, but like it's not all there yet.
It almost
all.
works a little bit better for him because he is kind of more of a blank slate. Like he doesn't quite know how to show what he's really feeling. So you kind of like infer it on him. At least I did.
Yeah, I mean,
and like it works.
Hugh, like toe cutter, fucking acts circles around young Mel. But again, experience.
Yeah,
Like,
what are you gonna do?
But even some of the other guys, some of the other gang members, I also heard that they took Hell's Angels, real Hell's Angels, had them on the set, and that the Hell's Angels were like fucking with Mel Gibson the whole time and leaving him death threat notices and just kind of really getting that method going on on set about like maybe you will die. But yeah, Mel Gibson's acting not great. Okay, you can start to see towards the end, like, no, you're like, this kid's got something. This kid's got something. He was just a kid.
Yeah, we can get into the big scene. At least for Mel, I think this is his best scene is when he's with Fifi, who has come out of his apartment, and Max is bummed out about the loss of Goose. He wants to quit the force. He's coming to his chief and basically just laying it all out, like, I can't do this anymore. And Fif's basic advice is take a break, get away from this, then we'll come back. And then Max delivers my favorite line of the entire movie and probably the thesis of these movies: one more day on the road, and I fear I'll turn into one of them.
Absolutely. I mean,
and that's what he becomes by the end of the movie. He is as bad as they are in a way.
That's the end point, right? When he does the thing that Saw later rips off. More about that later. But
this movie is ripped off a lot. I'll just say that.
I mean, Goose, right? Like legitimately, Top Gun. That had to be a nod to Goose in Mad Max. But I mean, I think for being a very low budget, kind of crazy, all over the place movie, it has a nice thesis. It's basic, right? But like, and it executes it well as far as like, his basically, the point of like, if you seek revenge, if you get too involved in the fight, at the end of the day, you're just as bad as the person you're fighting.
Yeah. And it's the world shaping Max into what the world is going to be. And I think that's why that, at least in the trailer, I can't remember if it's the actual opening of Fury Road, but in the trailer, when you get the shot and you're seeing the back of Max and he's just looking down at like the wasteland in front of him. And he just has he's perfectly prepared for this like devastating world because of everything that has happened to him in these movies. He's seen it all.
It's pretty dark. And one last little thing I'm going to say to try and sound smart is that I watched this thing on Netflix recently about 1975. I think I actually brought this up last
The
episode.
Band?
No, but I do like The Band. I saw them once by myself. I was very close. It's fine. I don't care. I like music that's like,
Hey, I like the 1975. I like the 1975, Chris. I just was laughing at you going to a concert by yourself.
My person.
I don't think I've ever done that, to be fair.
Dude, you should. It's actually
I might
fun.
enjoy that. I really do enjoy going to movies by myself. I might like going to a concert.
So does Pee-wee. Hey! Sorry. But no, it is. I mean, it's the same idea because you're not talking to someone. It's just like you're just there. It's actually kind of freeing. So anyways, 1975, the movie about that year in American history, and about films in that time, and that like the films were really into starting to show corruption and dealing with like the truth of the world, which was bleak, right? And like you got Taxi Driver, you got The Godfather, you got tons of movies that were just like kind of real bummers. But you know, this is kind of more this is much more experimental and cheap and fun in certain ways, but it's still honing into that sense that was like the communal sense of where films were at. Like, you know, things are fucked up now. Like, you know, bad things have happened. You know, I think this is also when we start to see the rise of horror, at least towards the late 70s, early 80s, you know, maybe almost as a response to society at large being more into like horrific stuff,
Well,
you know, because it, you know,
yeah, and George sees the maximalist attitude of the 80s. Like everything's big, everything's grand. Like we have money, we've got oil, like we've got big cars that go super fast. Like, isn't this awesome?
Hammer pants.
And Miller's like, you don't know the razor blade that you are walking on. If this goes one step off to the right or to the left, this is what it becomes.
Thankfully, we'll never experience that as a country for real. Not anytime
like,
soon.
It's
like,
almost like
might be happening.
It's almost like it's a utopia out there, man. Like, it's unbelievable living in 2025.
Like
seeing all this desperation in 1979, I'm like, man, at least I don't have to go through that.
I like to say we're like in a Zootopia.
Ooh, Zootopia 2.
Because that did get the algorithm humming when I talked about the fact that it's symbolic of the crack epidemic of the 80s.
It's our most viewed video on Reddit.
Yeah, mainly by children. They're like, oh my God, the fox is a drug dealer?
Well, he is making those popsicles. Handing them out to inner city kids.
Oh fuck! I mean, I guess that's the analogy. Dark stuff. We didn't come up with it. I didn't come up with it, but the country was into it then, and honestly, we're still kind of into it.
Perfect.
But yeah, just this was an interesting. The timing of this release, you know, very interesting in the grand scale of what else was happening in film at this time, and I just love, you know, this is also when we start to get the cult classic. This movie was the movie that made the most profit it held that record because it was made for so little and it made so much. Held that record until
1999.
Do you know what? Blair Witch Project. We read the same shit. But again, another cult classic that did a little more, and of course, you know, but anyways, really, really cool stuff. And yeah, I think, and also, you know, you still are in an era where, you know, not that long, you're getting your Kubrick movies, you're starting to get real weird experimental shit. There's just a lot happening, and to see the context of this is very interesting because I had never seen this movie before watching it for this show.
Awesome.
So I don't know if I mentioned that, but anyways.
So Max quits after the conversation with Fifi. He takes his family on vacation. We get the scene down by the water where he's, you know, kind of crying. Mel's really going for it. Very close up. Good stuff. Then there's some danger going on. Jesse's getting chased around. Max starts to feel the pressure of that gang coming for him because he kind of has a target on his back from them. And that's when all hell breaks loose on Max's life. Jesse's harassed, his child's killed, Jesse is in the hospital, she's not going to make it, and then Max has to go into dark mode.
He goes into dark mode like my phone every day at 5:55.
And I'm going to do one of the most dangerous things that can ever be done in a podcast or YouTube forum. It is not as dangerous as talking about specific guns and how guns work, because you will be shouted down by the masses if you get one thing wrong. But I'm going to do the second hardest thing, and that is I'm going to talk about the make and models of cars and motorcycles very quickly. So the Interceptor, Max's black car that he has at the end, that then shows up in other Mad Max films, was a 1973-1974 Ford Falcon XBGT, but it was obviously modified for the movie. You can't just go buy a 1974 Ford Falcon. They were also only, I think, made in Australia. It was a specific Ford car for Australia, muscle car. And then Toe Cutter is...
Sorry, I'm going to talk in an Australian accent now for a while. Just keep going.
Toe Cutter. I can't even do an Australian accent currently. Toe Cutter is driving a Kawasaki Z1000. That is a 1000cc motor or super bike, Japanese super bike, one of the fastest in the world at the time. So I think they had a ton of fun driving that. If I got any of that wrong, I apologize. I can only look up so much information, and I know that people get very anal about makes and models of cars.
And we're not car guys. Okay?
But
I'm not a car guy.
Cargo fast, vroom vroom. I like watching it.
Yeah, no, this is a pretty cool movie. I think too. The interesting part too is like how he makes up for the lack of money, and sometimes it turns into something cool. Like you don't see a lot of gore. Now, do I think it's because that he was like? I mean, actually, I shouldn't say this because I don't think he gets super gory ever. But like, why do we not like see a ton of stuff? I would say my first answer would probably be like, we couldn't afford that. We can't make that happen. Yeah. So we have to just have Mel look at Goose and be like, ah! and then close the little sheet. But I do think that does have a cool effect at times.
Yeah. It's kind of the opposite of Evil Dead, where Evil Dead is just like, go bigger with the gore, go even bigger, like make it huge, make it funny almost. How gory this is. Max, Mad Max is like, turn the camera away. Just do it.
Yeah.
Cut to the next scene. Yeah. Have the people imagine what it happened.
I also wonder if that has something to do with all the close shots.
Yeah. I think it's just his style. Like the fast editing, the very close up. Like he is throwing cameras all over the place on these vehicles. We'll get into the final car chase down of Toe Cutter, and then the chase down of, I should look at, is that Johnny Boy? Is that the name of the young guy? Is that
Johnny the Boy? It's Johnny
the Boy. I think that's right. Yeah. And so we get this chase, and we've talked about a movie called One Battle After Another, made by a very good director, Paul Thomas Anderson.
One BAA.
And he was lauded and has been lauded, and we lauded him on our show for the final car chase scene in One Battle After Another, where it is over rolling hills with the camera on the front of the car. And Chris, what would you know? George Miller has done that already, because there are at least 3 or 4 shots when he's chasing down Toe Cutter and chasing down Johnny, that camera is on the front of the car and there's just a hill.
Do you think that Quentin Tarantino did that in Death Proof?
I would imagine he did.
Like, yeah, I got vibes, the same type of vibes. Also because, like Mad Max, Death Proof was going for a minimalist grindhouse.
Yeah. And like One Battle After Another, which that highway is in the California desert, this is in the Australian desert, basically, the outback. And so it has a similar feel to the surrounding area. The road looks very similar. It's, hilly and windy. And it allows, when that camera is put on front, you get that kind of wide perspective out, unless you're pointed literally at that hill that you can't see over. And it's just such an impressive shot when you roll over the top of that, especially into those downhill shots where that camera is kind of affixed to the right side of the motor, the supercharger motor that's sticking out of the front. That was there just for cosmetic reasons. It's not actually doing anything, but like it's so cool. Like just the ideas of like what is the best spot to put the camera here? Like, obviously you can just shoot it from behind and have the car in full in the road and see everything coming in front. Like, people have seen that. Like, we've made car chases. We got to do something different. And like, this is where the George Miller genius level action, especially when it comes to car chase scenes, really is evident. And you're like, oh, this guy is just the best at this particular thing.
Yeah, and it really, it
did you like the end of Toe Cutter? Because it does come abruptly.
It comes up abruptly. I mean,
I laughed out loud again, as I did every time I watched it.
It's strange, but I mean, the whole movie is strange and makes so many strange decisions that you're like, okay, well, I guess whatever. This movie isn't following a lot of normal logic. You'd think that there'd be which kind of is cool, right? Like, there's always the big bad fight at the end, right? Like, okay, like I've said so many times on how these movies are like video games. It's like, okay, you're at the last level now. Now you fight the boss, and this just doesn't have like, no, actually that wouldn't happen. He would just die earlier. Not a huge deal.
Yeah, I mean, they are driving ridiculously fast on roads that do have other vehicles going on. If you're doing that with a motorcycle, chances are you might run into a semi, and that completely destroys both of you in the action. And then, like we've already talked about, it's an almost anticlimactic ending. Like, it's a slow, kind of methodical track down of Johnny. Then you get the scene, and it's just almost pure horror. And we get the future Saw reference. It'll take you 10 minutes to cut through the cuffs on your leg, but you might get lucky and you can get through your ankle in 5.
That's crazy too. Because I remember, and I think for many people, right, when Saw came out,
like, whoa, that's so hardcore.
Yeah, like, that's an insane idea. Whoa, this movie is like cracked, man. And it's like, no, it actually just literally took an idea from a movie that came out 20 years earlier. But
30, yeah, okay. Yeah, like it's good to set up. I can't imagine what it would have been like just watching this movie in Australia, like when it was released. You're just like, what? that's the end of this? Like, are they gonna make another one? Like, to like in 79 to like not even really have like the full concept of like, is this even big enough to like make a second one? I thought only like Jaws got a sequel. And then obviously Road Warrior comes in and everyone loses their mind.
It's not Jaws. It's our version of Jaws. It's not a knife, it's a car.
All right, Chris, let's get to our awards.
I love to get to our awards. And I'm not going to be necessarily. I'm going to go in between many accents.
Many accents.
That's okay.
Chris, your favorite scene of Mad Max 1979?
It's going to be when they, I think the initial. I've thought about this. No, I think probably the. I'll go with the first chase with Night Healer, or that song that my band wrote actually. Night Stalker. Is that his name? That's the
Night Rider
killer.
He's the Night Rider.
Just like David Hasselhoff he had a show?
Night Just Rider? Like a song by Arizona Cervase.
I don't know what that is.
Just blew your mind right there.
So yeah, I'll go with that because it does kind of just enter into this world, and I think it really captures a lot of the mood that this is going for. Just total chaos, insanity. Nobody's necessarily good. We see that there's cops, but we also quickly see that they're like not, they're not good per se. So I'm gonna go with that. How about you?
I mean, obviously, I am a dialogue man, and I'm going to go to the thief and Max in the stairwell. My guy, Thief, just
Rocking that real weird anti-V. It's like just the V from a V-neck.
yeah. I mean, it's
Love it.
so cool. I'm trying to pull up a little bit of the dialogue. Thief, they say people don't believe in heroes anymore. Well, damn 'em. You and me, Max. We're gonna give them back those heroes. Ah, Thief, you really expect me to go for that crap? You gotta admit, for a minute, didn't it? Thief, my guy. Really like that scene. Again, it sets up kind of the thesis for the rest of the movies, where Max has now become the enemy that he was pursuing.
And kind of next level if we're talking about these movies and kind of straight up saying like there are no heroes. There are no heroes. And this movie proves that because by the end, Max is not a hero.
Not a hero. Favorite performance? This could go anywhere.
Oh, I mean, Toe Cutter.
Hugh Byrne.
Hugh Keysburn. Also a shout out to, oh my gosh, I gotta find, it's the guy that has the serious look and the blonde hair the whole time.
Oh, that's
on his
Bertrand
I don't think
Kadar?
I like have a.
Or no. I think that is David Cameron. Maybe? No. That's the mechanic. I think it's Bertrand Kadar.
Is it Mudguts?
Is it Mudguts? No, it's not Mudguts. I think it's Clunk.
Clunk.
But it could be anybody, guys. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but the guy, I mean, the guy with like bleach blonde hair that like he just has the most severe face, and he's just another one of these people, along with our Knight Rider, that just give really good, weird, unhinged, like John Waters-esque performances. You know,
well,
just
even
like
the guy who plays Johnny the boy, like he is whacked out the entire time. Like he is so weird. Everything he says makes no sense.
Yeah, and I mean and then you really just have Mel and Jesse as
the only normal people in the movie, and Goose a little bit, but
yeah. Even Goose is a little bit of a live wire.
He's
like, talking about weird ass shit while they're eating breakfast, like then I ripped the guts out. No, okay, man, crazy.
Hey, Goose.
So
Goose is a huge man. He stood tall.
Yeah,
I wanted to. Or did you give your performance? I wanted to give a shout out to Rubina Chaffee, who is the singer, who is singing about that Licorice Road. One of the weirdest cut to scenes ever when they're in that little club, and she's just singing away.
That is that's. Oh yeah, she looks so bizarre.
It fits the world. Unbelievable casting job.
Yeah, no, and it's just honestly like and I'm not saying I don't think she's like unattractive, but I think she's just got this incredibly unique face that sometimes you're like, is this attractive or does she look like an alien?
Wait,
and
much like Johnny Cash, you walked that line. Good job.
Yeah, I mean, she was an interesting character. She has such a small role, but you remember it, and you're just like, holy shit! I mean,
her again. George Miller just taking that camera and shoving it in her face while she's singing about a licorice road and being stuck to it. Great stuff. Shout out to her. I'm gonna give it. Did you give it to Hugh Byrne? I'm giving it to Hugh Byrne too. He. Like Toe Cutter and Morton Joe, we'll get to him. Children, I give you water.
He's just so locked in. I feel like his performance brings the movie up a level.
Yeah, just the way he stands as a Morton Joe, like with all that crap that's on top of him, but then he just like. Rah. He's a menacing dude, and he's so good in Toe Cutter. Like obviously he gets to like actually facially perform Whereas with a Martin, Joe
Yeah,
is just
say
stuck
a lot
behind
more.
something. He's stuck with the Bane mask.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
Well, we get two Bane
yo,
masks coming
maybe
up.
we should
Roll.
switch parts.
I don't want anyone to shoot
I
my
could
face.
be Martin Joe.
Oh, there you got it. You got the
Yeah.
Bane. You got the Bane.
I
tonight.
love Bane. We've talked about
great.
Bane a lot, but I will remind the fans, I
Bane.
still love Bane.
So crazy too. Yeah, that like the two initial huge Tom Hardy roles covers his
Has
face.
to. Well, also the Revenant, he has an accent that is unintelligible, even worse than an Australian accent in 1979. You
Cool.
cannot understand a word that man says in the Revenant.
I love Tom for his accents and weirdness.
Yep.
More about him later, but
shout out to
I
Mel.
think
I think first big movie, or not even big, but first movie that hits theaters. You see it. You just do.
Yeah, you can see it by the end when he's a couple of those little monologues he has. You're like, oh yeah, this guy's an attractive young man that can act and he'll be successful. Or like as long as he doesn't totally get crazy, say a bunch of wild things in the press. He'll be fine otherwise.
And then in 10 years, he's standing on a ledge with some guy at the start of Lethal Weapon. You want to get nuts? Or that's a different movie. Is it? No, that is the right one. But I think it's at the tree stand. I don't know if he says that when he's. I think he just tells the guy, go ahead.
Keaton. The Keaton is the most famous one.
Yeah. It's a different one. I forget what he says. It's shoot. We'll cover it when we get to Lethal Weapon. But yes, you're right. That is Batman. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Come on.
The only good acting Keaton does in those Batman movies.
Oh. He's incredible. I love him.
I don't even truly believe that yet, but I keep telling myself it in hopes that one day I do believe it. I don't know. I do not like Batman 89. I can't get over it. MVP, obviously.
George Miller. Yeah, I mean, it's his like insane brainchild. This guy is such a very as you said before, such an interesting director. And I mean, he doesn't do a lot. Like he's done these Mad Max films. He did Babe and Happy Feet. He dabbles and works in like production and stuff, but he really doesn't do all that much. And you got to think like he probably had a lot of opportunities to like do a ton of shit. I mean, I guess I'm no expert on his life, but being the Doctor beforehand, I think this was one of the big quasi art cult films that like really makes a precedent, makes a mark on cinema around this time, saying like really weird stuff can make a lot of money. Really weird stuff, weird violent stuff. I mean, like a precursor, and I don't know exactly when did Grindhouse movies start. I'm sure they started before this, but like, as far as just like having just really, I mean, this is in many ways, this has art film elements. This has silent film elements, even though like, I don't know if you necessarily call this fine art, although of course that's always subjective, but like it has beats like that. And for so many reasons, this should just not work. We should just be like, well, it's confused. Like, there's so many things that, like, for an audience that's like, wanting a more straightforward movie, this does not deliver that. But because this was so successful, I think it did pave the way for a lot of other, kind of big swings that are kind of like this.
Yeah, I guess I didn't give my history with these Mad Max movies as I have seen them, and I'm a huge fan of them. And Chris is relatively new to the original films, though we did bond over Fury Road and saw Furiosa together. So he was a fan then. I remember seeing the trailer for Fury Road and being like, what the hell is this? I had no idea who George Miller was. I had no idea what Mad Max was. Like 5-year-old Luke did not know that George Miller directed Babe, or Happy Feet. But as soon as I saw that trailer, I did some research and I was like, oh, there's 3 original of these movies. I should check those out. And I believe I watched all of them before I saw Fury Road. So I was ready to go for Fury Road. Then saw Fury Road after having only seen the first 3 like once and being, relatively prepared. The trailer kind of shows a little bit here and there, but it's mostly just like, whoa, cool, Tom Hardy's in this. And then I had like my hair blown back and I was like, holy shit, this is what this movie could be. Because I really like these first 3 movies. Like I can't say it enough. These are like super special movies because I just think the guy's a genius.
Yeah, and a genius that
at this specific thing. Like whatever, like his filmography is kind of all over the place. He had a movie that came out like 4 years ago. I can't remember what it was. That was not a Max World movie that didn't do super
unbearable weight of something.
Yeah. And like it might be. I've never seen it. I'm sure there are fans of it and stuff like that. But like he kind of is locked in as the Mad Max director guy now.
Yeah. Think of just like oh sorry.
Yeah. And especially with someone who is as technical a director as him, it is cool to go back in time with his works because you see the pieces beginning to form. You're like, oh, like he's doing that thing here. Oh, Road Warrior adds this element to this thing that he's then going to like get really specific with in Thunderdome. And then just the absolute atomic explosion of the potential of this movie with Fury Road. And you're like, oh, there's an entire universe out there of stuff, crazy things that George Miller can show us.
Yeah. And I think this also is, I mean, there's many examples of this, but this is such obviously a labor of love.
Yeah.
And this guy had a very specific thing that he wanted to do, and he thought a lot about it. There's all kinds of stuff about how he worked on stories, obviously leading up to Fury Road. There was so much that he just like personally wrote. Like this guy, he's kind of really obsessed, locked in, and he creates this very specific type of movie that if you explain it to the average person, like, so what happens? Like, these cars are like, chasing each other for a while. Things are crazy. Like it just doesn't have like it doesn't have a normal plot. And but he just stuck to these. It'd be like, if like, James Cameron was like, all I did was the Terminator movies, we would all be a lot better off. Yeah. But just like this is it. I am just committed to providing this. I am not gonna get famous and then, totally so respect to George. It's such a unique thing. Definitely one of the most unique franchises we will cover for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And we're excited to do it. Thanks for sticking with us this week. I know we're a little bit later. We usually record on Mondays and Tuesdays, but that's just how it works around the holidays and stuff like that. And then I think we're going to be late next week too, because Chris is going to be visiting the Thunderdome. So he has to fly down there to experience what the Thunderdome underworld was like before he views the film. But we will be covering Road Warrior next week, probably later in the week.
Next week, not this coming week. The following week, we might be dark for a week.
Yeah.
But then the following week, most definitely, we will do Road Warrior. Very excited about it. Do you want to do our ratings and get out of here?
Yep. I am going to give the first Mad Max film. This is tough because this sets a bar. And I kind of have to go up from here, except for Thunderdome. I'm going to give this a 8.2.
Okay, awesome.
I really like this film. I don't know if that has come through enough. I really like this franchise, but I particularly really like this film. I like seeing the Max backstory, and it's one that the first time I was going through this, I kind of just got through this one because I wanted to see Road Warrior because that's what everybody talks about, and Thunderdome. And so I kind of rushed through this one. And so the times that I've come back to this particular movie, I felt rewarded over and over again because I think it gets better every time you watch it.
Yeah, to that point, I mean, I've seen it once.
It's an hour and 28 minutes, guys. Like this is a breeze to watch.
It is. Times felt long, but I like no, but I also noticed that too because it is so short. But sometimes I was like, are we still doing
well, that's
this?
like the weird plot mechanics. Like there are parts of the movie that are like trying to act normal, and you're like, well, this has been so wild before. Like, why are you just showing me a normal scene with Mel Gibson and his wife? Like, I don't want to see. I don't need to see this. Or like, do we have to go to the hospital again? Like that type of stuff. Or I don't need to know any of the other people that work on this PDF or whatever police force. Like, just get out of there. And then you're gonna like Road Warrior then, because all of that frill is gone, except for the helicopter pilot.
There was like a few scenes that I like had to go back and be like, is this the same hospital scene? Like, I mean, did I go on my phone a little bit? I did, I'm sorry. But you know, like, you're just like, wait, I think that, I don't know, but it was good. I really enjoyed it. I think with repeated watches, I would enjoy it more. I also, though, right off the bat, like what this did, you know, and also what it represents. I mean, like someone that is, I mean, this is not about money. This has
nothing to do with it. And it's essentially like a guy with a vision getting a bunch of his friends and strangers together, paying them in like motorcycle repairs and beer, and asking them to risk their lives so that he can get a cool recording on a camera. Like, it's an insane proposition to ask people, and he got people to buy into that.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of the Dial of Destiny,
which is a great film. I am going to retroactively give it a 9.9. I think it's actually Harrison Ford's best work that he's done. I've done some deep analysis on it, and I see the nuance. I see what he is doing.
You can't be ageist. You can't be ageist.
Can't do it. 9.9 retroactive. Dial of Destiny is the best Indiana Jones movie. Crystal Skull 1, retroactively giving that a 1. And then the other 3, you know, obviously hallowed in their own way, but Dial of Destiny, the greatest movie of the 21st century.
I wasn't sure you had even seen those other 3. Anyways, I'll get my sunglasses and we'll get out of here. So I will go with a 7.5.
That's about where I was hoping you'd land.
Yeah, like
I really hoped that you would like these movies, so I'm pleased that you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean the first watch, right? Like you're just kind of like, what's happening? You really have to kind of get situated and to the world, but it worked, and it's just, and yeah, the time and the impact and everything. I'm very excited to see where this goes, and I would be up for a rewatch someday. So.
Heck yeah. We will see you in about a week and a little more than that, but we will be back, don't you worry, for Road Warrior and the rest of the Mad Max franchise. Thank you, Chris.
Peace out.